Hello everyone, this is part 13 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Dojutsu, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. She did what? Naruto roared and quickly got out of the bed. Haku and Kiba could tell Naruto was pissed and the blonde quickly went to get his clothes. Fu simply stayed in the bed for a bit longer before stepping out and grabbing her clothes also. Suddenly Shizune stirred herself awake to see herself in Naruto's room and saw the blonde himself and a girl she didn't know in the room. Shizune-san, can you tell me what happened? Naruto asked her. Shizune gave a depressed look and told Naruto and the others how she stood up to Tsunade and told her master that Dan and Nawaki wouldn't approve of what she was doing. They then had a heated fight, ultimately with Tsunade knocking Shizune out. Naruto narrowed his eyes at the information and then strapped his fire sword and lightning sword to his back while his wind sword stayed on the side of his hip. No sooner than that, did Jiraiya come through the window, startling the hell out of Fu, but she saw he was a little weak at the moment and helped him to the bed. Jiraiya thanked the mysterious girl for her help and rubbed his temples. Tsunade has really done it this time. Damn, to make a elixir that even I couldn't detect. No wonder she's a Sannin, Jiraiya said, and Naruto mentally cursed. He then made a chi bunshin and with the slow process Kyuubi came out of the seal and stretched herself awake. Looks like we all have a problem. Tsunade not a pushover even if Naruto-kun did take her down. We should hurry up and meet them, Kyuubi insisted. Everyone nodded, but Jiraiya turned to the girl with green hair. I feel like I know you from somewhere. Mind telling me your name? Jiraiya asked her. Fu seemed to hesitate in answering him and turned to Naruto, who gave her a small grin and nodded that she could trust everyone in this room. Fu gained some confidence from the silent conversation and nodded back. I'm Fu, or better yet the Nanabi Jinchuriki. I'm from Taki, but I escaped and became a rogue kunoichi, Fu stated, making Haku and Kiba gasp. Shizune was busy healing Jiraiya of the effects of Tsunade's drug. Well, that's interesting, Jiraiya said before getting back to the matter at hand. Soon the clashing of metal brought everyone's attention to Naruto, who was twirling on of his kunai in his hand with a strong glare that only intensified when the Shinseinagon showed. If you think you're getting out of this bet that easily, Bar-chan, then you've got another thing coming, Naruto said, and everyone nodded. Kasumi had changed to her human form and opened the door. So what are we waiting for, Naruto-sama? Kasumi said, running out of the room. Naruto chuckled and followed after her along with Kyuubi, and after them was Fu, Haku, and Kiba. Shizune and Jiraiya were a little behind since Jiraiya was still slightly weak from the drug. Shizune, you go, I'll catch up if I can. Right now they need you more than I do, Jiraiya told her. Shizune hesitated, but nodded eventually and followed after the group. With Naruto and the others. Kasumi had managed to pick up on the scent of Tsunade and it took them to the outskirts of Tanzaku town. They all saw Tsunade on the ground shivering while Orochimaru and Kabuto were smirking. They then looked up and locked eyes with Naruto's group, who came to Tsunade's aid. Are Naruto-kun and the members of Team 7. Also the Nanabi Jinchuriki, how quaint, Orochimaru said, licking his lips. Kabuto chuckled also while Naruto gritted his teeth at them. Tsunade Barkin, you really are hopeless, you know that. Naruto told her. Tsunade seemed to calm down, but some slight shivering was still there while she saw Kiba and Haku next to him, along with a red-haired woman and a girl with wolf ears. And Naruto, what are you and the others doing here? Tsunade asked. Naruto grinned and cracked his knuckles. I'm here to keep you from making the biggest mistake of your life, Bar-chan. Now then, until you actually become a Sannin who isn't afraid of blood, watch us kick their asses. Naruto yelled as his fist glowed with chakra and he slammed it into the ground, making it shake violently. Tsunade widened her eyes at Naruto's use of superhuman strength, and for that second she stopped shivering. Orochimaru and Kabuto narrowed their eyes at Naruto and found him to be a little more troublesome. Well, this certainly raises the stakes, right, Kabuto? Orochimaru asked, and Kabuto smirked while adjusting his glasses before making his left hand glow with chakra. Alright then, Kasumi-chan, Kyuubi-chan, you go handle the pedo. Haku, Kiba and I will handle Kabuto. Fu, can you take care of Bar-chan? Naruto asked. Fu nodded and everyone went to their respective assignments. Orochimaru thought he heard wrong when he heard Naruto say, Kyubi-chan, but he ignored it. He then took out Kusanagi from his throat and chuckled while staring at Kyubi and Kasumi. He's always so creepy, Kyubi-sama? Kasumi asked with a grin. Kyubi smirked with a nod and she took an Anbu taijutsu stance. This is gonna be so fun. I haven't fought in so long. I hope he doesn't disappoint me, Kyubi said as she and Kasumi engaged Orochimaru. Meanwhile Naruto, Haku and Kiba dealt with Kabuto and they knew the man was skilled. He was able to perfectly dodge Haku's sword strikes and he blocked Kiba hit and countered them with his own. Naruto gritted his teeth at Kabuto and pulled out his fire sword to strike Kabuto, but the medic was just as slippery as his master. Naruto slashed at Kabuto, however, the medic dodged out of Naruto's way and backflipped. Naruto, Haku and Kiba regrouped until they heard Kabuto snicker. Is this the best Team 7 can do? Pathetic. And you call yourself shinobi? You aren't even worthy of being in Orochimaru-sama's services, Kabuto barked. Naruto narrowed his eyes and so did Haku and Kiba while Akamaru growled at him. Naruto closed his eyes and walked forward, making Kabuto's grin lessen. Alright Kabuto, then we won't hold back anymore. Haku, Kiba, let's try it out now, Naruto told them. Haku and Kiba grinned while Naruto opened his eyes and his Sharingan blazed. Kabuto widened his eyes at the blonde having the Uchiha Dojutsu that Orochimaru wanted so much. He then heard cackling and saw Naruto grip his right hand. Lightning cackled in Naruto's hand and it intensified his Sharingan's glare. Go! Naruto yelled. Immediately Kiba ran forward and crossed his fingers while his chakra linked with Akamaru's. Kage Bunshin no Justu, Kiba yelled as 6 Bunshins came into existence along with 6 Akamaris. Kabuto gasped and stepped back, but Kiba and his Bunshins began to spin violently with Akamaru's clones and they launched at Kabuto. Taju Gachuga, Kiba yelled and spiraled at Kabuto. Kabuto countered by jumping in the air and smoothly dodged all the Kibas and Akamaris who were spinning at him. He kept this up for a long time and his clothes were getting torn from the friction of the spinning. Suddenly Kiba stopped and grinned. Kiba, get back, Naruto called and Kiba did just that. Kabuto turned to see Naruto running at him while his Chidori was in full blaze. Kabuto chuckled and figured it was easy to dodge Naruto since the Chidori could only work in a straight line and it was rather easy to dodge, but when he was about to dodge, ice spikes came from the ground and held him in place. Kabuto cursed when he saw Haku with a gentle grin and he gasped when Naruto was in front of him. Chidori, Naruto yelled out, slamming the Chidori into Kabuto's chest. Kabuto screamed out and Naruto added more chakra to make the Chidori expand even more, dealing more damage. The ice spikes began to break and Kabuto fell to the ground. Naruto's right hand held the remnants of the Chidori through a small lightning current, but it stopped soon enough. Well, I can't say we were entirely serious, but I think that get the job done, Naruto told them. Haku and Kiba nodded and walked away, but Kabuto wasn't done as he slowly stood to his feet. Not bad, but it's not over yet, Kabuto told them. Naruto and the others growled and watched the amazing healing abilities that Kabuto possessed as the damage that was dealt to him faded until he looked perfectly fine. I'm not Orochimaru-sama's assistant for nothing. I'm able to heal my body no matter how damaged it is, Kabuto told them. Naruto growled lowly and saw Kabuto take out a soldier pill as his chakra replenished quickly. Kabuto grinned and Naruto narrowed his eyes at the medic. Both shinobi charged at each other and Naruto brought a kick to Kabuto's face, but the medic saw it coming and quickly countered it with a block. Naruto's Sharingan flared as he anticipated Kabuto's block and brought his other foot around to hit Kabuto on the side. Kabuto winced at the pain, but steeled himself as he grabbed Naruto's right foot and with a jerk he made the blonde lose his center of balance. It was all Kabuto needed before he pressed his arm to Naruto's chest and the blonde gritted his teeth in pain, before being kicked across the plains by Kabuto. Damn it, Naruto said as Haku and Kiba ran to his aid. However, Naruto wasn't the only one feeling the effects as Kyubi gripped her chest in pain while Kasumi kicked Orochimaru across the field only to see her friend on the ground. Kyubi-sama, are you alright? Kasumi asked. Kyubi nodded and started to breath heavily. She definitely wasn't alright. What's this pain? Is Naruto-kun in danger? Kyubi thought to herself while Orochimaru smirked. He swallowed his blade into his throat while sending Kyubi and Kasumi a glare, But Kyubi had seen worse, so it didn't do much, but for Kasumi she slightly cowered under the gaze. Well, you two are most interesting, especially you with the red hair. You exude power like it was second nature. How would you like to join me in my quest for power? Orochimaru told them. Kyubi gave him a painful chuckle while Kasumi growled at him. Humans like you are a dime a dozen. You're no different from the humans of the past, and I doubt the humans in the future will be different from you, but to answer your question, I'd rather not join those who give hickeys to children, Kyubi told him. Orochimaru's eyebrow twitched at that last remark before shrugged his shoulders and smirked. Very well, then you can both experience hell together, Orochimaru said, running at them. However, his sword was blocked by a kunai, and that sight made Orochimaru slightly scowl. Well, looks like I just made it in time, Jiraiya said with a small grin. Orochimaru backed up and cursed his luck of seeing Jiraiya also, but then he got a good idea. It made him smile. Well, Jiraiya, still a perv as usual and still a loser, Orochimaru stated, making Jiraiya chuckle. Still the same pedo as always, ha, Orochimaru, Jiraiya said to him. Orochimaru narrowed his eyes and gritted his teeth before slowly lifting his hands to his mouth, and he tore off the wrappings of his arm to show a seal. Now then, Kabuto, come to me, Orochimaru yelled out. Kabuto obeyed and stayed near his master. Do it, Orochimaru ordered. Kabuto nodded and bit his thumb before tracing it over Orochimaru's seal. Meanwhile, Naruto carefully stood to his feet with the help of Kiba and Haku. He coughed up some blood slightly before his hazy vision pointed him to see Kabuto about to slam his hands on the ground. Soon'd bark and be prepared to hand over that necklace right now, Naruto said, gripping his kunai. Soon'd watched as Naruto wobbled a bit, but he then stood perfectly still and breathed slowly. Alright, it's no or never, Naruto said as he threw the kunai at Kabuto. Soon'd and Shizune watched, and so did Kiba and Haku as the kunai flew towards the medic nin. Connect your chakra to the seals of the kunai. Let the distance between them and you make the difference in your chakra, and just go. As the kunai neared Kabuto, Naruto vanished in yellow lightning, shocking everyone who saw him, and quickly turned to Kabuto's location, which shocked the snake Sannin and the medic nin. Naruto grinned and held out his right hand. Soon a blue sphere started to form and Naruto slammed it into Kabuto's back. Rasengan, Naruto yelled, sending Kabuto across the fields and into a tree. Everyone was surprised at him and Naruto smirked. I win, Soon'd barkin'. Fork over that necklace right now. Naruto yelled out to her, but Soon'd couldn't reply. She just lost. Naruto had performed a perfect oration. Soon'd seemed to choke slightly while she looked at the ground. She then gave a small smile and stood to her feet. Jiraiya gasped at the sight, and so did Orochimaru, who conveniently forgot that Naruto was right next to him. Naruto turned back to Orochimaru and his eyes showed a deep hatred for the man in front of him. Now it's your turn, Naruto said to him. Orochimaru looked at Naruto, then he saw Haku, Kiba, Jiraiya, Soon'd, Shizune, Kyubi and Kasumi. He was severely outmatched, outclassed, and as of this moment, out of luck. Orochimaru seethed and turned to Soon'd. There are plenty of other uses besides you, Soon'd, Orochimaru said as he disappeared in a snake shunshin. Naruto narrowed his eyes, then turned to where Kabuto should have been, but he was gone and Naruto sighed. Well, that's just perfect. He runs off like a snake. Oh well, at least we're. What are you guys looking at? Naruto asked, noticing the stares everyone had on him. The blonde blushed from the extensive gazes until he was bombarded by everyone in the excitement. Naruto-sama, you did it. You did the Haration perfectly, Kasumi said, hugging the hell out of Naruto. Naruto chuckled and Kiba ruffled his blonde hair slightly. Kyubi, Haku, and Shizune smiled at Naruto and his accomplishment, while Jiraiya seemed to be looking in the sky and he was smiling. Minato, you would be proud of your son if you could see him today. He mastered your most difficult technique. He really is amazing, Jiraiya said mentally. And last was Soon'd. She walked up to Naruto and proceeded to bonk him on the head. Naruto narrowed his eyes at her before seeing one of her calming smiles. You really are a stubborn brat, but a deal's a deal. I'll place this bet one more time, Soon'd said, taking off her necklace, and she gently wrapped it around Naruto's neck. Everyone watched the green jewel gleam in the sun and Soon'd sighed. Well, I guess I'll be the goddamn Hokage then. I'll hold the seat as long as I can until you get to it, Gaki, Soon'd said, and everyone grinned at that. Well, that's all nice and good. I'm glad Bar-chan, Naruto told her, and Tsunade's eyebrow twitched at his remark. You keep calling me Bar-chan and you'll never meet another mission above C rank again, Tsunade stated, and Naruto raised an eyebrow at her. He wasn't sure if she was gonna make good on that threat of hers, but he would be damned if she got to one-up him after everything they just did. So, but it ain't happenin', Bar-chan, Naruto said with a grin, and Tsunade sighed at him and his cheekiness. Jiraiya then placed a hand on her shoulder and gave her a sorrowful expression. Tsunade, he called Sarutobi-sensei, Gigi, he calls me, Ero Senin. You're not getting out of this if we can't get him to stop, so just accept it, Jiraiya told her. Tsunade arched an eyebrow and then slumped. What have I gotten myself into? Tsunade wondered, and the group began to walk back, but not before Tsunade turned to see Kyubi walking with them. It just crossed my mind, but who are those two? Tsunade asked, pointing to Fu and Kyubi. Both women grinned, and Naruto decided to introduce the two to Tsunade since she didn't know them. Well, first, this is Fu-chan. She's from Takagakure. I want her to come to Konoha with us, Naruto said, shocking Fu and the others at his statement. Fu suddenly blushed at Naruto's words and she looked at the ground. Everyone noticed and smiled at her act before she said something. I never said I'd go to Konoha with you, Naruto-san, Fu said, and Naruto turned to her with a grin. Well, if you don't, then I could just capture you as a missing nin and turn you into Taki for the reward, Naruto said, and everyone dropped their jaws. Fu immediately had a look of horror on her face and clutched Naruto's clothes. Please don't do that. I couldn't stand it if I went back. Please don't send me back, Fu said, and Naruto chuckled. Everyone knew he would never really do such a thing and he was just kidding. Naruto lightly touched Fu's green hair and just smiled. Sorry, Fu-chan. I didn't mean it. Just a joke. Besides, you really should join Konoha. If you're worried about Taki, then don't be. From this day forward, you're under my protection as the head of the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, Naruto said, and instantly Jiraiya, Tsunade and Shizune all gasped. Jiraiya grabbed Naruto's shoulders and immediately shook the blonde violently. When did you become the head of a clan? I never heard about this. Jiraiya yelled out, with Tsunade and Shizune nodding in agreement with the Sannin. Naruto laughed at them and began to explain the detailed things about his mother and the council while Naruto found his compound and he was named as the youngest clan head along with Sasuke. As they walked, Naruto also told them how Haku became his first member besides himself, and it made the girl blush slightly at remembering her plead. Tsunade, Shizune and Jiraiya were all shocked at Naruto for what he had done, and all three couldn't wait to return to Konoha to see the compound. So who is this? Tsunade asked, pointing to Kyubi. Kyubi grinned and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. This wasn't going to go well on multiple levels. Before I tell you, I'd like you to wear this chakra restriction seal, Naruto told her, holding up the seal. Tsunade was confused as to why she would have to wear one, but didn't complain and put on the seal. Naruto sighed and began his introduction. Meanwhile, Kiba and Haku took a step back out of fear for the revelation. Jiraiya did the same and so did Kasumi. This is Kyubi-chan, or rather Miss Kyubi no Yoko. She's my tailed beast, Naruto said, making Tsunade and Shizune go wide-eyed. Both were about to interfere, but Naruto stopped them. Please, let's talk and I'll explain. Just don't do something I know you will regret, Naruto told them. Tsunade and Shizune looked at Naruto like he was insane, but nodded and awaited Naruto's explanation. Naruto told them how he met Kyubi when he was younger and she helped him become how he was today. He had mentioned that the attack on Konoha wasn't her fault and he forgave her. He even told them that she was one of his mates. Tsunade and Shizune turned to Jiraiya, who nodded and looked at Kyubi from head to toe. Well, if Naruto-san thinks she's okay, then I've got no real complaints, Tsunade-sama. It sounds like it was all a misunderstanding, Shizune said, and Tsunade had to nod. Both were still cautious, but trusted Naruto's judgment in the matter, and then everyone went back to go pack. Back in Konoha, Sarutobi was sighing as he just heard the news from Tsume and Hana. There was an issue in the clan, with status being the main issue. The old Hokage sighed and looked at Tsume and Hana. He knew that the two were dead serious and it made the Sandaime cringe slightly. And there is no other way out of this? Sarutobi asked. Tsume and Hana shook their heads and Sarutobi sighed for what seemed like the 100th time today. He knew it was a clan issue, but to have Naruto involved in it was so frustrating. Alright Tsume, have this issue resolved as quickly as possible. Man Tsume, Could you date someone who didn't attract so much attention to himself? Sarutobi asked and Sume cackled at his question. Hana gave a small grin, but Sume began to reply. Now Hokage-sama, you know that's no fun. Naruto-kun is my mate and I'll stand by him. Hana will also. Thank you for accepting this spar Hokage-sama, Sume said as she and Hana bowed. Sarutobi nodded and he allowed him to leave. The Sandaime sighed as he knew Naruto was gonna be mad when he learned of this. Apparently Akira really didn't like Naruto taking what he thought was his. Naruto-kun, hurry up and bring Tsunade back so I can retire. I'm too old for this shit, Sarutobi said while laying his head softly on the desk. He just wanted to drop this work and spend the rest of his days in peace that seemed to evade his grasp with each passing day. Suddenly a chunin came through the door with a scroll in his hand. Hokage-sama, urgent news. It's probably important, the chunin said, making Sarutobi groan. It was just one thing after another, wasn't it? Alright, good work. Let me see it, Sarutobi said, and the chunin had him the scroll then left. Hiruzen glanced through the contents of the scroll and narrowed his eyes. Immediately after that they widened and Sarutobi dropped the pipe from his lips. Is he for real? What's the Raikage thinking? Sarutobi wondered before he sighed. It was going to be a long talk when Naruto was finished with his business with the Inuzuka compound. Everything seemed to revolve around the blonde now. It was so troublesome to think about. Back with Naruto and the others. Everyone had been packed up and ready to leave. It felt so weird to Tsunade that she would be leaving and going back to the place that she said she would never return to. Naruto and the group were happy that they completed their mission and they even got a new friend from it all. Alright, let's get back to Konoha. I can't wait to relax and spend some time in my bed, Kiba said, and everyone nodded in agreement with him. Kyubi and Kasumi hanged into their animal forms and took their respective positions on Naruto's head and in his jacket. Everyone began their trek towards Konoha and simply talk about some things for a majority of the trip. It generally took about 3 days worth of traveling for everyone to make it to Konoha, and luckily there were no problems. When they all saw the gates come into view, everyone gave a sigh of relief. Naruto made it a point to place the seal around his compound and at specific places in the village. When the entire group came into view, Izumo and Kotetsu looked up from the gate stand and watched as everyone came over to them. Naruto, Haku, Kiba and Ttsu Tsunade-sama, Izumo said as he widened his eyes at the female Sannin. Tsunade gave a warm smile and gave the two chunin a quick hello before looking at the village. This place hasn't changed at all. It really takes me back, Tsunade said, and everyone walked through, well, almost everyone anyway. Who is this? She's not from our village, Kotetsu said, almost taking out a kunai aimed at Fu. The Nanabe Jinchuriki tensed up, but Naruto quickly came to her aid. Easy guys. She's with me. She had protection under the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, Naruto declared to them. Kotetsu and Izumo shot Naruto a blank look before putting their kunai back in their pouches. Oh well, alright then Naruto. As long as she's in your protection she's alright, but you might want to run it by Hokage-sama just in case, Izumo mentioned, and Naruto took note of that. Fu walked past the gates and immediately thanked Naruto for getting her out of that jam. Naruto told her that it wasn't a problem at all, and the group continued to walk through the village and towards the Hokage mansion, with Tsunade and Shizune taking in the sights of their old home. Hokage mansion. Naruto and the entire group had finally made it to the Hokage mansion, and after some time they walked into the office and everyone filed in while Sarutobi saw a new face, but he was going to deal with that later since he was his two students in the room with him. Tsunade, you're back, Sarutobi said, and Tsunade gave a sheepish grin. It's good to see you too, Sarutobi-sensei, Tsunade replied, making the old Hokage smile and nod at her. After a detailed description of the mission by everyone in the room, Sarutobi was shocked to learn that Orochimaru had gone to Tsunade to fix his arms, but was happy that he never got the chance. He was even more shocked to learn that Naruto had mastered the Hiraishin. It was probably a milestone for the young Tokubutsu Jonin. That's amazing, Naruto-kun. I can't believe you were able to complete it. Minato would be proud of you, Sarutobi told him. Naruto gave an embarrassed blush, but he nodded and thanked the Sandaime for the compliment. Hiruzen looked over the report one more time and gave a small smile. Well, it's obvious that this was an A borderline S rank mission. Naruto, Haku, Kiba will have your appropriate mission earnings sent to your accounts in a few days, Sarutobi told them. Everyone nodded and then the Hokage glanced at Fu, who seemed to be trying to hide behind Naruto's shoulder. It was slightly cute to everyone, but knowing how Fu was raised and treated back in Taki, it was no surprise that she would be wary of powerful figures in the villages. And who is this? Hiruzen asked them all. Naruto smirked and grabbed Fu, then placed her right next to him, but she then at least grabbed one of his jacket's folds, keeping him close to her. Naruto figured it was the little sense of insecurity that she had experienced, but he didn't really mind and neither did anyone else. This is Fu-chan Gigi. She's a rogue who ran from Taki for their abusive nature towards her. We found her while we were looking for Tsunade Baken. She's also the Jinchuriki of the Nanabi, Naruto told Sarutobi. The Sandaime widened his eyes and looked at Fu for a second, which seemed to be an inspection of some sort. Naruto, you know we would have to return her to Taki unless she has something that can keep her here in Konoha, Sarutobi revealed, and Fu tightened her small grip on Naruto's clothes a little more and turned to Naruto for help, but when she saw the blonde smile, she suddenly felt at ease. Well, she does have something that will keep her here. She's under my protection as the clan head of the Uzumaki Namikaze clan, and if I remember from the laws and rules I read about, then it states in one of the books that in any time a person from outside the village comes under the protection of someone in the clan, namely the clan head, that person is entered to stay in the village so long as they keep the village laws and the clan takes responsibility for their actions, Naruto stated, and it amazed nearly everyone that he had read up on that. Well, that is correct, Naruto-kun, but are you sure you can trust her? Sarutobi asked, not wanting Naruto to make a mistake as a clan head so young and one that he might regret in the future. Naruto narrowed his eyes, then turned to Fu, who gave him a pleading look and smiled. I'm sure Hokage Gigi, Naruto asserted. Sarutobi sighed with a nod and allowed Fu to stay, but not before telling her to read up on Konoha's laws and other things. Fu thanked the man for his kindness, but not everything was finished yet. Naruto-kun, there is one more thing I need to talk to you about, Sarutobi told him in a warning tone that made Naruto know this was probably bad news. Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Shizune picked up on it, while Kiba and Haku, knowing Naruto, could tell it was probably a problem. What is it, Gigi? Naruto asked with a small glare. It has to do with the Inuzuka clan, Sarutobi mentioned, and immediately Naruto wanted to know what was up, and so did Kiba. Usually nothing in the clan warrants the Hokage's attention since it's relatively peaceful and everyone gets along with. Granted, fights spring up every now and then, but something about this news disturbed Naruto slightly. Alright then, Gigi, Haku-chan, take Fu-chan to the compound and tell Ka-san that she's with us. I'll inform you about the situation when I get back, Naruto said with a small air of authority in his voice. Haku wanted to retort, but she could see the look in Naruto's eyes that just told her to go, and she complied. Hi Naruto-kun, Haku said as she and Fu walked out of the room, although a bit reluctantly. Kiba decided to stay since this involved his clan and he wanted to know what was going on. Tsunade, Jiraiya and Shizune stayed since it was either out of concern for Naruto and the Inuzuka clan, or since Tsunade was about to be Hokage, the need to know what the details were. Alright Gigi, what is something wrong with Sum-chan or Hana-chan? Naruto asked immediately, and Kiba slightly tensed at his tone. No Naruto-kun, nothing is wrong with them, but it's a matter that involves the clan. You see, 3 days ago Sum and Hana came to me and they told me that there was an internal clan issue. It seems that someone in the clan didn't like you courting Sum and he wants to fight you for the right to mate with her and rule the clan. His name is Akira Inuzuka and he's considered the strongest male in the compound, Sarutobi told Naruto. The blonde narrowed his eyes and then gritted his teeth at the information. This sounded like Akira was treating Sum as a damn prize or possession. He would gladly fight anything to stay with her, but the way this happened, it didn't sit right with Naruto. It also didn't sit right with Kiba either. The Inuzuka knew about Akira also. He knew Akira was the strongest male, only being topped by his mother as the strongest member. However, while he was strong, he was all the most arrogant and conceited jerk some of the compound knew about. Some members had told Sum to kick him out of the compound, but she always said that the Inuzuka take care of one of their own unless it was something inexcusable. He wants to fight me over Sum-chan? Naruto asked, and Sarutobi nodded. Since it was a clan issue, he couldn't really dispute it himself. Even if he was the Hokage, he could do it if it would cause harm to the village, but this was over some trivial thing, so he couldn't. And if I didn't fight him, what would happen? Naruto asked, bringing everyone's attention to him. Kiba was probably the most worried that Naruto wouldn't fight for the right to be with Sume, but knowing Naruto for years, Kiba came to expect most unexpected things. Well, he would win by default and Sume would be his. Granted, I think she would fight him to remain single, but he would be named as the head of the compound anyway, Hiruzen replied. Naruto narrowed his eyes and looked at the ground with his hair shadowing his eyes. Everyone was silent as they waited for Naruto's reply to the situation, but suddenly Naruto's chakra flared as he balled his fists. I'll kick his ass. Sume-chan is no object, but she's mine and I refuse to let anyone take her or Hana-chan from me. Gigi, when do I have to fight him? Naruto asked and everyone smiled. Kiba grinned as did Tsunade, Jiraiya, Shizune, and Sarutobi. I'm not sure, Naruto-kun. You'll have to ask either Sume or Hana, but I know it might be next week or a few days later just to give you some time to rest from your mission, Sarutobi told him. Naruto nodded and walked out the door with Kiba following him. Ironic that he's very protective of Sume and Hana. I hope I can watch that fight, Jiraiya said with a grin. Tsunade and Shizune nodded before Tsunade raised up her hand. 1,000 yen that the Gaki kicks his ass to the ground, Tsunade yelled. There was a silence in the room for a bit and Tsunade gave an embarrassed chuckle before everyone smiled. I got 2,000 yen on Naruto-kun, Shizune yelled out. Normally she wouldn't bet, but you never get a chance to bet on a sure thing such as this. Sarutobi and Jiraiya chuckled, but then they decided to bet also since they knew how strong Naruto was. It also helped that he never would give up even if it killed him. With Naruto and Kiba, the two boys walked back to the Inuzuka compound and Naruto was pissed off. He knew from Kyuubi and Sume about being the alpha male in certain cases and that there would be challenges, but he was still pissed that someone who tried to take Sume from him. He'd be damned if ever lost Sume to someone else. When the two came up to the compound, Naruto grabbed the door and slid it open. Both he and Kiba took off the shoes and came into the compound. Naruto looked around the place for Sume or Hana, but then there was yelling out in the back which was drawing quite a number of Inuzuka to the fight, so Naruto and Kiba followed the noise until they saw Hana arguing with Akira. Akira, you're acting like a spoiled brat. Car-san isn't yours to take. Hana yelled out and Akira gritted his teeth at Hana, which increased his ferocity slightly. And that brat has the right to take her, Hana. I'm much stronger than him, sure he's a Tokubutsu Jonin, but he hardly lacks the experience of one. Face Hana, both you and Sume-sama know I'm better to lead the clan that he is. He already has his own clan to lead, so why is he with us? Akira asked and Hana faltered for a second, but luckily for her she was saved. I'm here, because I love Sume-chan and Hana-chan. I care for them as my loved ones. I don't see them as objects like you do, Naruto said, making everyone turn to face him. Some murmured and others seemed rather happy to see the blonde. Akira, however, gritted his teeth and his feral features became more evident. Naruto wasn't backing down either. His eyes were slits and his whiskers were more defined thanks to Kyuubi. Akira's chakra flared and so did Naruto's. You're just a brat kid. Sume-sama deserves better than you and that's just what I am, Akira said with a grin. Naruto narrowed his eyes at Akira and he could say this much already. Kiba was right, he's no joke, but he's definitely why and arrogant. I'd never lose to someone like this, Naruto thought, and suddenly Kyuubi smirked from on top of his head. Damn right you won't, Naruto-kun. I didn't train you for all those years just for you to lose to someone like that, Kyuubi remarked, and Naruto chuckled with a nod. What's going on out here? Sume suddenly yelled out and saw Naruto locking eyes with Akira. While she walked to the two, some of the members told Sume what happened and the Inuzuka head instantly scowled at Akira. Naruto broke his gaze from Akira and looked to see his girlfriend walking over to them. Akira broke his gaze too, but he huffed his annoyance and walked off with a sour look on his face, with his companion growling at them before walking off. Naruto sighed and most of the clan dispersed when the fighting had stopped. Sume sighed along with Naruto, but she then gave him a small smile. Well, not what you expected, was it, Naruto-kun? Sume asked. Naruto shook his head and rubbed the back of his head. Kiba had asked how this all happened and Hana explained the situation to him while they were gone. He always was a stubborn one, but now he's gone overboard, Sume said to them. Everyone nodded in agreement with her, and for some reason they knew Akira didn't really love Sume. He might have professed it out in the open and to her privately, but for some reason they could feel his heart wasn't in it. So Sume-chan, when do we fight? Naruto asked. Sume raised an eyebrow as did Hana, and Naruto smiled while he walked past them and gave Sume's ass a firm smack and felt Hana's ass, causing the girl to yelp out and blush at his actions. Kiba's eyebrow twitched at that and the tree turned to Naruto. What? Sume-chan and Hana-chan are mine. I'm not giving them to anyone, Naruto said, which made Sume laugh. Hana blushed at his words and Kiba rolled his eyes while a grin came across his face. You really like the ass, don't you, Naruto-kun? Sume asked. Naruto blushed, but didn't reply. However, that blush was all Sume and Hana needed to know. Kiba then stretched with a groan and began to walk into the house. Well, I'm gonna go change. Tenten and I have a date in about an hour, Kiba said, walking off, leaving a snickering Naruto and two smiling Inuzuka women. That reminds me, Hana-chan, before I left I was able to book a new restaurant that just came out last week, Naruto told her. Hana raised an eyebrow before remembering the place's name and she suddenly gasped at him. You booked the Red Dragon? Hana asked and Naruto had to nod. Hana knew that the place was probably crazy expensive, but with Naruto assets as they were, it wasn't impossible for him to get a spot on the list for the restaurant. Yeah, I wanted to take you on a date with me, so I booked it and was going to tell you about it, but then the mission came up and everything. So I waited till now to tell you, Naruto told her. Hana smiled at that and Sume chuckled while patting Hana's shoulder. Well, Hana, it seems you have a busy night scheduled. Wish I could go, but I've got some mission reports to fill out. You two have fun, Sume said, walking in the house while leaving the two behind. Hana blushed and so did Naruto. So when do we go out now that I have a date? Hana asked. Naruto grinned and thought of an appropriate time for the two to go out. It's tomorrow and I'll pick you up at 7, Naruto replied to her. Hana nodded and gave Naruto a small kiss on the cheek, making the blonde blush. Well, I'll go find something to wear then. Oh, Naruto, on Inuzuka tradition, the fight is next week in the back of the compound where all fights are held, Hana told him. Naruto took that information to heart and stored it in his memory. Alright then, thanks for the information, Hana-chan. I promise I'm not gonna lose you or Sume-chan to anyone, Naruto said with a thumbs up. Hana gently giggled and nodded before walking back to the house, but then came out for one more piece of information. Oh, Naruto-kun, I forgot to tell you, but Anko and Kurenai wanted to see you about something when you got back, Hana told him. Naruto nodded and left the compound to do its own thing. Right now, Naruto was happy he placed the seals around his house as he closed his eyes and locked his chakra onto one of the 3 seals he had placed around the compound and instantly vanished in the direction towards his compound. Namika's compound. While Naruto was busy at the Inuzuka compound, Haku had taken Fu to the compound and allowed her to look around. Fu was quite amazed at it as the compound was rather peaceful looking and it had an air of tranquility that she loved. We have lots of rooms, so pick one, Fu, Haku told her. Fu nodded absently and walked around the house. When Fu selected a room, she quickly placed her things down, but she didn't unpack as Haku wanted to show the Nanabi Jinchuriki around more, and she then introduced Fu to Kushina. Kushina had smiled at the girl and invited her to stay as long as she liked. Fu nodded and she went to work on reading the Fuinjutsu that Naruto gave her. It seemed relatively simple and Nanabi helped explain some things that she didn't know, so that made it better for her. Suddenly, Naruto appeared in the living room of the house and nearly startled Fu from here reading. Oh, sorry, Fu-chan. I didn't mean to disturb your reading. I'll leave you alone, Naruto told her and was about to leave, but Fu immediately stopped him and blushed slightly while looking at the ground. Thank you, Naruto, for this. You're putting yourself and your clan on the line for me. I've never had anyone protect me this much before, so I just wanted to thank you, Fu said and waited for Naruto to reply. However, he didn't give one and Fu was surprised when she felt his chiseled body over hers. She gave an immense blush across her face, but she calmed down when she heard Naruto speak. No need to thank me, Fu-chan. I'd do it again if I had the chance to. You're always welcome here, Naruto told her. Fu gave a small and nodded with a few tears rolling down her face. Unknown to the two, Kushina and Haku were smiling at them both along with Kyubi and Kasumi. It amazed all the women that Naruto would never let any of them feel alone. Kasumi never liked to be with anyone in the Inuzuka clan before she met Naruto. Haku was simply with Zabuza and was never able to fully laugh or smile like she was. Kyubi never had one and she was feared until she found her blonde. They all saw he was the one who could make any girl happy if given the chance. Naruto then let go of Fu and he suddenly gasped. Oh, that's right, I have to go and see what Anko-chan and Kurenai-chan want, Naruto said to himself. Everyone then chuckled at Naruto's innocence in certain situations and Fu slowly let him go. I'll be back later, Fu, then I'll help you with your fuinjutsu, Naruto told her. Fu nodded and Naruto took off. Kyubi and Kasumi were still with him when he ran out the door, but they didn't have anything to do, so they decided to hang around Naruto a little longer. After a bit of searching, Naruto found Anko and Kurenai in a training field and the blonde jumped to the field to see them talking. Anko-chan, Kurenai-chan, how have you been? Naruto called out. The two jonin turned to see their equal in rank walking over to them and gave him a small smile. Hey Gaki, I take it Hana told you to meet us? Anko asked and Naruto nodded. That's right, Anko-chan. So what did you two need me for? Naruto asked them. Anko and Kurenai grinned at each other and for a second Naruto wondered if he asked the right question. Well, Naruto, you have the Sharingan right? Kurenai asked. Naruto nodded, not knowing where they were going with this, but he heard him out. That's right. What do you need? Naruto asked and Kurenai grinned along with Anko again. I want us to have a genjutsu fight. I heard about the Sharingan's genjutsu and its power and we'd like you to train us to overcome it, Kurenai said and Naruto raised an eyebrow. They wanted to be trained by him. That was almost like a dream if he ever had one like it. Well, Gaki, will you teach us how to match up to the Sharingan? Anko asked. Naruto was about to reply, but then he snickered by accident, making the two women look at him with confused expressions. So basically I'm your guinea pig? Naruto asked. Anko gave a mocked expression and Kurenai narrowed her eyes at him. Anko moved fast and rested her arm on Naruto's shoulder. Don't be like that, Gaki. You always training, so why not help us out? We'd really appreciate it. What can we do to make you say yes? Anko asked and Kurenai instantly stuttered. Anko, Naruto-san is dating Sume. I don't think she would like you hitting on Naruto-san like this, Kurenai retorted and Anko simply gave a grin. Naruto closed his eyes for a second and smirked. Alright, he said and the two women turned to him. I'll help Kurenai-san and Anko-san out. I don't mind, but I've got one request, Naruto told them. Both jonin arched their eyebrows at him and simply shrugged their shoulders. They figured it was to treat him to some ramen, but Naruto gave a mysterious grin that made their hair stand on end. It's simple and we'll make this interesting. If you win, I'll train you for free, but if I win I get one date with each of you for the training, Naruto said with a foxy grin. Kurenai widened her eyes and so did Anko, but the latter gave a smirk and nodded. Fine by me. What do you say, Nai-chan? Anko asked. Kurenai turned from Naruto to Anko and back before sighing. Alright, I guess. What is it, Naruto-san? Kurenai asked. Naruto's grin got bigger and he crossed his fingers. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled and 6 clones came into existence with 3 wielding a 3-tomo Sharingan and the other 3 wielding the Byakugan. If you two can take these 6 down then I'll train you and I lose, but if you lose to 1 then I win, Naruto told them. Anko got an even bigger grin while Kurenai seemed to be interested. Goodbye me. Ready, Nai-chan? Anko asked as she readied a kunai. Kurenai did a simple stretch before taking a kunai from her pouch also. Ready. Be prepared, Naruto-san, you just made the worst bet of your life, Kurenai said. Anko nodded and the real Naruto leaned up on a tree with a smile as both jonin charged his clones. Well, I would have helped him anyway, but this is more interesting, right, Kyubi-chan? Naruto asked. Kyubi chuckled and jumped off Naruto's shoulder. She then turned to her human form and allowed her red, vibrant hair to flow down. You're such a natural prankster, Naruto-kun, Kyubi told him. Well, I try, Naruto replied, seeing Anko get kicked in the stomach. Oh, that's gotta hurt, oh, that's gotta hurt, the two thought as they continued to watch the jonin spar with the clones. Naruto and Kyubi chuckled when they saw Kurenai and Anko on the ground panting. It was getting late in the day and there was still 2 clones left. Anko had to curse the fact that Naruto was skilled enough to earn the jonin position. The blonde was such a pain in the butt and his clones were an even bigger pain in the butt. Apparently, Naruto had been able to master an exercise where his clones could take more damage and not dispel. It was considered a tough chakra control exercise, but Naruto managed it and Anko sighed. I'm out Gaki, Anko said, admitting her defeat. Kurenai nodded in agreement with her best friend. The clones just wouldn't give her the time of day to cast a genjutsu, and even if she did, it was already dispelled by either the Sharingan or seen through by the Byakugan. Kurenai sighed in frustration. Both Jonin realized they still had a lot to learn. One thing was for sure, they could really improve if it was with Naruto. The blonde always had that type of spark in him, and they knew they might benefit from his training. Even if it pissed them off that they lost. Naruto-san, I give up too, Kurenai said, and the real Naruto chuckled before dispelling the clones and walked over to the two tired Jonin. Both saw his mischievous grin and they knew their fates were sealed with that bet, but they learned an important lesson. Don't bet against Naruto. Well, looks like I win, ladies. Since it's late, we'll start your training tomorrow morning at one of the usual Jonin training grounds. For now, you both can rest and enjoy the evening air, Naruto told them. Anko simply nodded and felt the cool breeze blow past her hair along with Kurenai. So when are you going to take us out on a date like you want? Anko asked, and both were graced with another grin from Naruto. I'll hold on to that part of the bet. Just rest assured that you will like it, Naruto said, grabbing Kyubi and vanishing out of sight. Anko sighed, and so did Kurenai as the two stayed on the ground in the field. We never speak of this to anyone, Kurenai said, making Anko give a painful chuckle while she rubbed her sides. Ah, what's the matter, Nai-chan? I'm not afraid of going out with Naru-kun. Sum said he's like a beast in the bed, so why shouldn't we jump at the chance? Anko asked, and Kurenai instantly blushed from her friend's words. Because he's so much younger than we are. Aren't you worried about what people will think? Kurenai asked, and Anko scoffed. If she was going to worry about what people thought, then she wouldn't be herself. Sure, she wanted to be accepted by people and not just as the so-called snake, but it's better to be accepted for yourself than be accepted for something else. Please, Nai-chan, the Gaki is an adult in the eyes of the shinobi world. Sum's already gotten with him and no one seems to give a damn, so why should you or I? Anko asked, and Kurenai had to give that point to Anko. She hated it when Anko made sense. It was always so unlike her friend to be like that. Kurenai huffed in annoyance and settled for looking at the setting sun over the sky. I hate it when you make sense, Kurenai said, and Anko bursted out laughing with a nod. I like to believe that I can get one in every once in a while, Anko countered, and Kurenai simply closed her eyes. Well, if you have no problems, then why don't you date him first? Kurenai asked. I'd like to, but it's the Gaki's decision. So I guess we'll just be on edge for the next few days, Anko said to the genjutsu mistress. Kurenai sighed and then gave a chuckle. We just fought 6 Naruto bunchins for 4 hours, and even with this pleasant breeze I'm still tense, Kurenai admitted, and Anko nodded. Wanna hit the hot springs when the feeling in our arms and legs return? Anko suggested, and Kurenai immediately smiled. I could think of nothing better, she said, and the two stayed in the plains for a bit longer to rest from their fight. With Naruto. Naruto had appeared in front of his compound and immediately came inside to see Fu, Haku and Kushina practicing outside. The blonde chuckled when he saw them working, and he was about to go upstairs before Haku stopped him. Naruto-kun, I have something to give you, Haku said, and Naruto turned to see what she wanted. Haku left the fields and went into the house, and before long she came back with a large stack of papers that made Naruto sweet drop at the sheer amount. Haku-chan, what's that? Naruto asked, and Haku placed them on a table in the living room next to the couch, and Haku smiled. An Anbu came and gave me these papers. Since I'm your vassal and first clan member, they gave it to me. It's your clan regulations, responsibilities, along with some fealty papers about those who will join your clan in the future and the land around it, Haku said, and Naruto mentally shuddered. So this was the dreaded paperwork all the cage feared. Naruto felt his situation go in a complete reverse. He now understood how Sarutobi felt, and he had the feeling soon it was going through hell also. Sigh. Alright. Thank you, Haku-chan, I'll get right on it, Naruto said, and the blonde sat down on the couch. He took a paper and glanced it over. He could have used his cage bunchins for this, but sometimes it was best to look things over for yourself. So the blonde reluctantly looked him over. The first sheet was about his responsibilities as a clan leader and some finalizations. Naruto signed his signature at the bottom of the paper and wrote some added things before placing it in adjacent to the stack in front of him and got to work on the second. He then found solace in the fact that Sasuke must have been going through this also. He could imagine the emo king burning the entire stack of papers with a Kaiten jutsu. Man, this is so boring, Naruto whined, but he still did it anyway as he heard the laughs of Fu, Haku, and Kushina at him, making Naruto glare at them. Kyubi-chan, are any of the foxes good with managing? Naruto asked. Kyubi nodded that there were a few, and Naruto thanked Kami for that information. The blonde bit his thumb and went through the hand signs for a summoning. Kuchio's no jutsu, Naruto yelled, and a puff of smoke came blocking his view, but it soon dissipated to show a fox with crimson fur and one tail. It looked around its surrounding as before turning to Naruto and bowed. Hello Naruto-sama. How may I help you? The fox asked. Naruto grinned and placed the fox on the couch. Think you can help me with some paperwork? Naruto asked. The fox looked at the large stack of papers and nodded. Of course Naruto-sama. It shouldn't be too hard to do, the fox said, and Naruto grinned with a nod. The two got to work over Naruto's paperwork, and the Tokubutsu Jonin always appreciated the extra help. With Sume, Hana, and Kiba. The three Inuzukas were currently in their home relaxing on the couch from the day. Akira was really being an ass about everything. Sume had already decided that if Naruto won the fight, then Akira would be out of the clan. This was all starting to become too much for Sume to handle, and Akira had a shady enough reputation with the clan as it already stood. Kiba rubbed Akamaru's head as the dog slept on his friend's lap, and Hana was doing the same thing with one of the Heimaru brothers. Sakar-san, this definitely sets the mood of a drama, doesn't it? Hana asked, and Sume gave a tired groan. She wanted to laugh at that comment, but she just couldn't at the moment. She was just too tired at the moment, but that didn't stop her from replying. I was never one for much romance after your father left, but since Naruto-kun came I can see your point, Hana, even if this entire situation pisses me off, Sume said with a growl. Well, it's Akira's own fault. I acknowledge only Naruto as your mate Kar-san and no one else, Kiba replied, making Sume blush and Hana nod in agreement with Kiba's assessment. You two have become quite taken to Naruto-kun. Hana, if I remember correctly, you said that if any guy tried to get with me, you would more than, while Kiba ripped the guy's eyes out before I could do anything, Sume said, remembering her kid's words. It was then that Hana and Kiba gave an embarrassed chuckle while averting their eyes from Sume's gaze. Ha ha ha, I have no idea what you're talking about, Kar-san, Hana replied. Kiba just stayed in silence for the remainder, making Sume laugh. It was strange, she really didn't feel like laughing, and yet her kids managed one out of her. Alright you two, I'm going to bed. Hana, don't you have to prepare for your date? Sume asked, making Hana blush. Kiba laughed at Hana's expense, which earned him a pillow to the face. I'm gonna go to bed too. See ya later, little brother, Hana said, leaving only Kiba in the room. I guess I'll go to bed too. Tenten-chan said she wanted some practice tomorrow, so I guess I'll get going, Kiba said, walking up the stairs with a sleeping Akamaru in his arms. With Naruto, 3 hours later. Come on Naruto-sama. Only 120 more papers and then you're done, the fox said, and Naruto's eyebrow twitched at said fox's easygoing nature when it came to paperwork. The blonde's hand was already starting to cramp up and he almost stopped signing the papers altogether. He had already eaten the dinner that Haku made for him, and the girls were all currently in their separate rooms doing who knows what, but the blonde couldn't dwell on that right now. Only 120 more papers. I've signed 100 of these damn things already, and you have the gall to say only 120 more. Naruto screamed out mentally, and the blonde heard Kyubi laughing in the background of him mind. Between the laughing and the signing of papers, Naruto finally broke down and he crossed his fingers. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, Naruto yelled out, and 5 clones came into existence. It was then that Naruto ordered the clones to help him with his paperwork, and pretty soon, they were all working with Naruto in signing the papers. It took roughly another hour, but they all got it done, and the large stack of papers was put to rest on the top of the table. Finally finished. My hands are killing me, Naruto said, and the fox smiled at him. Yes Naruto-sama, for those who aren't used to paperwork, it is quite taxing, but you got it all done, the fox said, and Naruto rubbed his ears, making the fox groan before laying on Naruto's lap. So what's your name? Naruto asked the fox. The fox growled lowly before responding, and Naruto realized he just found a weakness with all of his summons. They all love to have their ears scratched by their summoner. My name is Furin Naruto-sama. I'm one of the foxes whose job is to regulate the financial parts of Mount Makai, or you humans call it the Fox Realm, Furin said, and Naruto nodded. Naruto felt Kasumi snuggling up inside his jacket, making the blonde slightly ticklish. Well, Furin, I'm gonna put Kasumi to bed. I'll summon you and the others if I need anything else, Naruto told him. The fox nodded and jumped to the ground, and with a quick bow he left. Naruto sighed and unzipped his jacket and pulled Kasumi out, then held her in his arms, hoping not to wake her up. When the blonde walked up the stairs, he started to turn off the lights to the downstairs living room. Next morning, Anko and Kurenai were already at one of the training grounds that Naruto said he would meet them, and they simply waited for the blonde to arrive and begin their training. Now Anko wasn't a morning person most of the time, so she was a little irritable, but Kurenai had given her some tea for a sort of pick-me-up, so Anko was generally alright. It was 9 in the morning and Naruto still wasn't around. Where is he? Anko wondered, and Kurenai simply leaned on one of the gates, wondering the same thing as her friend. Both knew Naruto was one of Kakashi's students, and they seriously hoped that he didn't have the habit of being late like his sensei. Maybe he's running a little late, Anko. You know how busy clan heads are, and with Naruto-san being a recent one, I'd say he's got a lot of catching up to do, Kurenai said, and Anko had to reluctantly agree, even if she didn't know the first thing about running a clan. I suppose you're right. Still, it's rude to keep us waiting like this, Anko said, and the three jonin decided to wait a little longer for the blonde to arrive to their training spot. After about 10 to 20 minutes, Naruto finally showed up to see Kurenai and Anko waiting for him. The blonde yawned and walked over to them. It took hours to fully satisfy Kyubi, and boy did she need to be satisfied. Naruto guessed that being in a cage for 13 years would do that to some people. The blonde hardly got any sleep at all, and he was deadbeat tired. He knew Haku and the others were still sleeping, so it was only him. Even Kyubi was sleeping when he left, with a certain glow to her face, and Naruto simply sighed. It was tough being the man and keeping promises, but he'd be damned if he did break them. So while they were all asleep, Naruto made some tea for himself, and he was basically fine after that, even if he was still tired. Hey Kurenai-chan, Anko-chan. Sorry I'm late, Naruto said with a grin. Anko and Kurenai were happy that the blonde finally made it, and the three went into the training ground. It was a usual open space like some of the others, but it had a large pool and bigger tree surrounding it. When the three grouped into the middle of the training field, the two jonin immediately waited for Naruto's instruction, which was weird that they would need help from someone younger than them, but they weren't about to complain. It's not every day you get taught, willingly, how to counter a complete Sharingan, or at least fight against it. Naruto rubbed his eyes for a bit and then took out a notepad that he had been carrying with him. Kurenai and Anko arched an eyebrow at him, but didn't say anything when Naruto was about to speak. Alright ladies, let's begin. But before we do start that, well, I hate to be blunt, but you're both not going to be able to fight against a Sharingan user as you are right now, Naruto said, shocking the two jonin. Anko wanted to grind Naruto's skull into the ground, and Kurenai narrowed her eyes. Somewhere inside they knew Naruto was telling the truth, and the blonde continued. Don't get me wrong. I know you're both strong, well, you wouldn't be jonin if you weren't, but anyway. I had a reason for that bet, and I was able to take a few notes of both your abilities, Naruto told them. Kurenai and Anko widened their eyes at Naruto's claim and eagerly awaited what he thought. Naruto flipped through the notepad and turned to Kurenai first. Kurenai-chan, during the fight you mostly kept your distance from my clones. You also knew you were in trouble when none of your genjutsu was going to work on my Sharingan clones or my Byakugan clones. Kurenai-chan, you rely too much on genjutsu. I know that you're the genjutsu mistress of Konoha, but you need to diversify more. Right now the area that you need to work on the most is your taijutsu. It has good delivery when someone is too close to you, but you lack some of the necessary strength to execute your taijutsu fully, so I'm going to drill that into you for the training, Naruto declared, making Kurenai nod. She was slightly depressed to hear that her most preferred art was holding her back, but she decided to just deal with it. Alright Naruto-san, I'm in your hands then, Kurenai said with a small smile. Naruto nodded and turned to Anko while flipping through his notepad. Anko-chan, you were really direct when it came to fighting my clones. You don't have a lot of strength in your techniques, so you used agility to make up for that. Your ninjutsu was good and well balanced, but you were putting too much chakra into it, so you got tired rather fast. You should lay off the dango for a bit, Naruto said, making Anko's eyebrow twitch, and Kurenai stifled a laugh, and before long Anko bonked Naruto on the head, making Naruto grow a small lump. It was just a suggestion, Databio, Naruto said with some anime tears rolling down his eyes. Anko huffed and Kurenai consoled Naruto slightly. When all was said and done, the three were back to talking and Naruto coughed. So all in all, you two need to work on your endurance and taijutsu. That's one of the keys to fighting a Sharingan user. I'm sure Guy also has a lot of experience with fighting the Sharingan since he deals with Kakashi a lot. Also, I'm going to teach you to really on more than just sight, Naruto told them. Anko and Kurenai wondered about that one. They knew how to heighten their senses to good levels, and while they might not have been as good as others, they were still really okay nonetheless. What do you mean by fight with our other senses? We already use chakra to enhance our sense to above human levels, so why are you training us in that? Anko asked, and Naruto was glad she did. As far as Kyuubi taught him, Naruto had an extensive history of knowing the Sharingan and its drawbacks. She still never told him what the third ability to the Sharingan was besides the Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi, but he figured he'd merely wait and not rush the process, but he was regressing. What I mean is that I'm going to have you fight with your eyes closed. When we spar, you will always have your eyes closed and you will be relying on your other senses. The Sharingan's truly deadly when it encounters your eyes, so I'm going to instill the fact that you don't need your eyes to beat your opponents. So are the two of you ready now? Naruto asked them. Anko nodded and so did Kurenai. Naruto nodded with them and he took out a scroll and unsealed 2 light leg weights from them. Alright then, Kurenai-chan, I want you to do some standard stretches and then you can run around the training grounds pond for a half an hour and then you can work on about 5 sets of push-ups and sit-ups. We'll get into the heavy stuff later, Naruto said, and Kurenai sweet-dropped. That's not the heavy stuff, she wondered, but by then Naruto turned to Anko and relayed his instructions to her also. Alright Anko-chan, you'll be doing the same thing as Kurenai-chan, however, you'll be wearing some stronger leg weights since your taijutsu is naturally better than Kurenai-chan's. I set up this schedule for the both of you to do for the day and I'll adjust it accordingly, Naruto told them. Kurenai took her training regime and so did Anko. For Kurenai it was 30 minutes of running around the lake to build stamina, 100 push-ups and sit-ups for 5 sets, a 30-minute break and then a spar against 2 Naruto clones to end the training for the day. Kurenai looked at the list and she nearly paled. When Naruto said he'd train them, he really would train them. Naruto loved the small shocked look Kurenai had on her face at the list, but he knew it would be beneficial to her in the future. He wondered if this was how Kakashi felt when he trained them. Anko grabbed her list and looked it over also. For Anko, it was 1 hour of running, 150 push-ups and sit-ups for 3 sets, a 30-minute break and then a spar with 2 Naruto clones also. Anko wondered why her list was more than Kurenai's, and Naruto explained that Anko was slightly stronger than Kurenai in the field of strength. In terms of taijutsu, the two were basically tied with each other, with Kurenai only being a bit higher since she'd been a jonin longer than Anko. After looking the lists over for a bit longer, both girls nodded and walked off to start their training. They decided to start on their running at the same time and the 2 jonin ran off, leaving Naruto to start his own exercises. The blonde had an idea of a good way he could use Gaara's-san to an even better degree, and it wasn't something he had tried out before. He still wasn't sure how he could pull it off, but he knew better than to give up without trying. The blonde made a chi bunshin and he started to go through a light spar with the blood clone. He always wanted to spend at least a quarter of his day training, or at least have his body moving. His blood clone activated its Sharingan and Naruto took on the Shinseinigan. He decided to brush up on some Hyuga stances and work with the still problematic sand control he had. While they ran, Anko and Kurenai saw Naruto training and they eyed his form for a bit. They saw the blonde Tokubutsu Jonin's face glisten in the sun as he trained, and it gave the two the faintest of blushes across their faces. The Gaki sure is built, Nai-chan? Anko asked, but Kurenai didn't respond and simply settled for running further ahead. Anko chuckled and ran after Kurenai to get the answer to her question. The sun was high in the sky by the time Anko and Kurenai finished their run and both were sweating a considerable amount. They saw Naruto still sparring with his clone. They recognized the Hyuga stances the clone was doing. Kurenai also recognized the sand that Naruto was using from the time that Gaara Kid used it in the Chunin exam prelims. The two watched the blonde spar a bit before getting into their push-ups and sit-ups. Hokage Mansion. Lady Tsunade, please take me as your student, Sakura said to the fifth Hokage lady. Tsunade raised an eyebrow while doing some paperwork. Haku was also there in the room as the two had come to Tsunade at the same time looking for training. And why should I do that? You both have teachers so you should ask them, Tsunade said, and Shizune sighed. Her master was always like this with everyone, but she figured it was for their own good. Well, Kurenai sensei's busy with her own training, so I didn't want to interrupt her, and besides that. Shino and Hinata are so far ahead of me. I mean, he's just a creepy bug boy and she does nothing but stutter, so how are they stronger than me? At this rate I won't be able to get Sasuke-kun's attention, Sakura said, making Haku, Tsunade, and Shizune narrow their eyes at her. There were girls like this everywhere and it really pissed Tsunade off. Back in her day, people trained seriously and a genin could even do B-rank missions, but they had become so lax in the times of peace. Tsunade then turned to Haku and wondered about her answer. I want to train for myself and Naruto-kun. I want to get stronger, all for the sake of restoring Naruto-kun's clan. I see it as a duty, but it's also something I want to do. I think that I can get stronger for our clan also. Naruto-kun is precious to me and I'll do anything to help him achieve his dream and mine, Haku said, and Tsunade had to actually look up from her work and stared at the resolve in Haku's eyes. Sakura raised an eyebrow and Shizune widened her eyes. To Tsunade and Shizune, it was rare to see a woman want to give so much to make someone else happy, but someone else was different. Why do you want to get stronger for Naruto Baka? He's nothing like Sasuke-kun. Didn't you know that Sasuke-kun officially became the head of the Uchiha clan, the greatest clan in all of Konoha? Sakura asked, and Tsunade rolled her eyes and massaged her temples. She had only been Hokage for about a day and this happens. She could tolerate Haku, but Sakura was a different matter altogether. I'm glad Sasuke-san is the head of his clan, even if he's the only member. Besides, Naruto-kun is the head of our clan also and I'm its first member. That's why I want to get stronger, Tsunade-sama. To prove my worth as clan member of the Uzumaki and as a kunoichi, Haku said with a bow. Tsunade smirked and placed her hands lightly on the table. All right then. Haku, you have shown me your determination with your words, and tomorrow you will show me with your actions. I will take you as my student, Tsunade proclaimed, and Haku immediately bowed her head in respect to her master and teacher. Tsunade then turned to Sakura. Sakura, you still have yet to show me the determination in your words. So until I see that, I can't train you, Tsunade said while leaving to go somewhere. She mentally cursed that Sarutobi got to enjoy the start to his retirement today, so this just sucked, but she figured it couldn't all be bad. Shizune left after Tsunade and congratulated Haku, but when the two walked out, Sakura made her discomfort known. Why'd she pick you and not me? Sakura asked, and Haku rolled her eyes at the pink-haired banshee. It's because you don't have the purpose for getting strong, Haku said, walking off from the Hokage mansion while Sakura seethed and stomped off in the distance. Back with Naruto, Anko and Kurenai. Anko and Kurenai were enjoying the last remaining amounts of their break and Naruto was taking a sip of water from a bottle he brought with him. Both of the Jonin were almost relatively exhausted from the warm-up, but they didn't relent any. They really should have been used to this kind of thing, but the feeling of having extra weights on really made things difficult. Alright ladies, that's it. Time to start the spar, Naruto told them. Kurenai and Anko nodded before wiping off some sweat and stood in the middle of the field. Generally about 2 hours had passed from their warm-up alone. The three walked to the middle of the fields and Kurenai was first. Naruto handed Kurenai a blindfold and he waited for her to put it on. Kurenai looked at it for a while and sighed. Here goes, Kurenai said, placing the blindfold on. When it was tight enough, Naruto inspected it a bit and nodded. Alright Kurenai-chan, we'll begin. But remember, we are here to improve your taijutsu, endurance, and strength. So I'm placing this restriction, no genjutsu until I say so, Naruto said, and Kurenai nearly gasped. Anko widened her eyes when she heard that condition. Naruto just virtually took away everything that Kurenai was about and Anko learned on thing. If he wanted to or when he wanted to, Naruto could be a sadist. No genjutsu. I only know a few bits of ninjutsu and we're working on my taijutsu. This can't be good, Kurenai thought, and Naruto made 2 shadow clones. Since it was taijutsu, Naruto didn't or wasn't going to use weapons. Each clone wielded the Sharingan and Naruto stepped back. Alright Kurenai-chan, 1 hour. Last as long as you can using nothing but taijutsu, Naruto told her. Kurenai nodded and she went into the taijutsu stance that she knew. She'd never done training blindfolded, so this was an entirely new experience for her. Naruto placed a timer on the grass and pressed it. The bell rang and Kurenai was already on the edge. She had no idea what either clone was doing, but that was the point. Alright, let's see if I can do this, Kurenai thought and channeled chakra to her ears. She heard the silent steps of the Naruto clones and it still made her tense. When one got too close, Kurenai turned her head and charged in the direction of the noise and let out a punch, but she didn't hit anything since the Naruto clone ducked underneath it and countered with a kick to Kurenai's side. Kurenai gripped the side of her waist and she sighed. This wasn't going to be easy. Soon the Naruto clones charged at Kurenai and thanks to their footsteps, she could hear them coming. One clone let out a kick and sent it at Kurenai's face, but the Genjutsu mistress managed to narrowly evade the hit and let out a kick, and to her surprise, she made contact sending the clone into a tree, but it didn't dispel. Naruto had learned how to make his clones more durable and it was paying off. Over the course of the hour, Kurenai was really being tried as she had multiple bruises and scrapes from her spar with the clones. Not to mention with the other, warm-up, exercises, she was slightly tired. When she kept her distance to long-range fighting, she didn't have to worry about moving too much, so this was all new to her. Kurenai dropped to the ground and panted while the beads of sweat came across her face. She could sense that the clones were still there and they were still ready to go. Naruto-san, I give, Kurenai said, and Naruto stopped the timer. When Kurenai got to her feet, she reached for the blindfold and undid it. Naruto took the blindfold into his hand and saw Kurenai's intense stare on him. Who fights like this? Kurenai asked. Naruto grinned and turned around. Gai-san, Kakashi-sensei, Rock Lee, Neji Hyuga, and even Tenten. I've dabbled in it, so I have sort of an edge on it, Naruto told her. Kurenai looked at the time and saw that the hour wasn't even over yet. She'd only been going for at least 40 minutes. Well, that was good for a first try. Don't worry Kurenai-chan, it will come naturally to you and Anko-chan once I'm done with you, Naruto told her, and Kurenai nodded with a thank you and a smile. Sagaki-kun, it's my turn, right? Anko asked, putting on the blindfold. Naruto chuckled at her eagerness to get started and nodded, but he still had to set the conditions and he knew she wouldn't like them. That's right Anko-chan, now then. You won't be using any ninjutsu. I know your genjutsu is good, while not as good as Kurenai-chan's, but still alright, so limit that if you can help it. Well, get started, Naruto said, making 2 more clones. Kurenai leaned up on one of the trees to watch Anko fight, and the purple-haired Jonin smirked while she licked her lips. Now this is what I call training. I'll show the Gaki not to mess with me, Anko said in thought, and Naruto set the timer again. 1 hour Anko-chan. Go! Naruto yelled. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.